Patrick Rowland.
What's going on? It's sunny out here, man. I
Oh,
look
you're good.
kind
Put
of
the glasses on, bro. Put the glasses on.
ridiculous with the
You're good.
sunglasses on, man.
No, you're
Can't
good. We
see.
we
Can't
already know
see.
you're a douche. We already know you're a douche. I'm
I
just
feel
kidding.
like one.
I
I
wish.
feel like one right now. Like I'm
No,
looking at
dude.
myself. I'm like, dude, what am I doing?
No, bro. You actually look good in aviators. I put on aviators. I look
Oh
so
man,
stupid, dude.
the sun is just in my face right now.
You're good, bro. Where are you at
Getting
right now?
burnt. Portugal.
Dude, this guy is the biggest traveler.
Dude,
Okay, he always thinks I'm giving him a hard time. Let me tell you this first, though, Patrick. I don't know if you did you see the first part of the live stream?
I didn't, man.
Okay, so we're actually me and you are just on our own. We're just doing this as a recording because motherfuckers decided not to get on, and I'm like, I've been talking about it. So what we're doing is we're recording this,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna
Okay.
share it out with the people that give me a damn good reason why they weren't on the call because it's just
All
like
right.
with the leads, dude. You give them for free, you give them for free, you give them for free, and all of a sudden business owners are like, yeah, I didn't call it. It's like fuck you,
Yeah.
bro. Well, you don't get them
Exactly.
anymore.
Give it for too long, man. Then they just think they're always getting it for free.
100%.
And then they don't even do anything with those, the free stuff.
Totally. I agree. So we're done.
So I mean, it hurts them too.
Yeah.
As
So
well.
so we're gonna be recording this, but just so like me and you are just having a conversation. But for anyone that's gonna be watching this, every single week we get on a call. This dude is in another country. Bro, was it not last
Yeah,
week you were in Belize?
yeah. I was in
I
Belize. I wasn't planning to come to Portugal. But then I don't know, things changed, and I sent it to Portugal to
love
try
it.
to learn how to surf. Try to learn how to surf, and it's only a 6 hour time difference, so you can still get all the work done. You know,
Yeah.
same thing. But you get the mornings off, you focus on yourself, and get to try to learn new skill.
The thing that I love about it is like it's even better because of the topic we're going to be covering today that you've been able to go from what you were dealing with to the life that you live. And I always give him a hard time about traveling, but like I think it's cool, dude. Like he should be traveling, he should be experiencing, he's earned it, he deserves it. So this is cool, dude. I love it. How long are you in Portugal?
Um, I bought a round trip for like 2 weeks, but I think I'm heading back to the US next week,
Dope.
probably Monday.
Okay. Amazing, bro. It's the
But
life. It's the
things
life.
things can change.
I love it.
Yeah,
Okay. So, all right, dude, we're going to be talking today. This is something that's very near and dear to my heart. I know it's something that you've experienced. I don't know the full story. I'm actually excited to dig into it. And I
yeah,
want to be like open because, and how I open this up, bro, is like, I remember when I was $60,000 in debt, it just like, look, I was spending so much time looking at, okay, zero balance, transfer credit cards, what do I do here? And I remember thinking,
yeah.
if I get $1,000 extra per month, it's going to take me 5 years to get to zero, bro. I'm worse off
Hmm.
today than I was when I
Yeah,
was born. Like those are the kind of
yeah,
thoughts. Like I was heavy, I was sweating, like I was waking up in
yeah.
sweats. So give us the overview. Well, first of all, let's start off how much you're doing right now in rank and rent,
Mhm.
what your business looks like right now, and then let's go back to the shit. Let's start where you're at though today.
Okay, yeah. So, right now, we're at 35,000. Looking at doing about 40,000 in the next 2 weeks based on some incoming deals that we think we're going to close. And that's with these really high profit margins with this business model as well, right? Because I've I've tried other businesses before. I was that kid that tried a bunch of different things, and I did big revenue numbers before, but I made no money. So, and then that's how I got into the situation, that we're talking. That was like a few years ago, and we'll get into that. But yeah, right now 35,000, about to get to 40,000 at really good profit margins, which matters a lot, right?
That make it's funny. Every time me and you are talking, I'm like, hey, how much? What's your goal? And you always clarify it. You're like, my goal is XYZ profit because I don't give a shit about revenue. I actually had a similar. It's kind of the same with me because you think you're making all this money, and then behind the
Yeah,
scenes you don't watch it. And all of a sudden, dude, you can go to -30, -60 quick when you're
yeah.
running, ads and you have inventory, and you're like, dude, it's not the. I had a couple bad client deals that I had to pay back. That's what really spiraled. So anyway, 35 to 40K. it's 35 right now, but by the time this thing
Mhm.
gets leaked out to a few people that are watching this, 40K. Where were you
Yeah.
at a couple years ago? How much debt? What was the most debt you got into, and how'd you get there?
Don't actually know the exact number because it was like
It was a
it was
lot.
like a thing I didn't want to like look at it because it was just so stressful. Um, but yeah, it's well over 100,000. Um,
Damn,
so
dude,
I'll
I
just
didn't
say
even know
that.
that.
Just I don't want to go,
Yeah, we
but
don't want to
like
get too deep.
personal, credit, all the credit cards are maxed. So that was like at least 60,000, and then I had like business, as well, but I had no money coming in too. So, sometimes business that can be good, but I had absolutely nothing to show for it.
So, and share whenever, like, we don't need to go too far, but like, was it, and honestly, to be like, I don't even care about how you got into it because that's not what we're talking about here. Just know that the underlying lesson is the way that I got into debt is I tried to start a software company and I was pre-selling clients and collecting cash, using that cash to continue to operate. And then come to find out I didn't have a product to sell because the developer didn't give me any code. And I had a decision to either file bankruptcy or tell everyone to screw off or go pay everybody back. And I was like, dude, this life, I'm going to be playing this game long term. And
Yep.
I gave everyone their money back and put it on my credit card. And that's the situation that I fell in. So just know if you're not in debt and you're watching this, you're like, I'm never going to do that. You got to be very, very careful because you start doing business, you start having big clients owe you $15,000. You get one that snuffs you. You're out 15 grand. And if you're barely like that means everything. So I don't care about how you got into it. Let's talk about like, what was your first
Yeah,
step, dude?
I mean, I'll talk about it real quick. 'Cause it won't be that long, but I was someone that tried a whole bunch of different things. My whole goal was to. There's the reason why I'm traveling right now because I almost feel like I have to, right? Because that was my whole goal when I first came out of college. Was I wanted to make $3,000 online so I could travel the world. That's it. I was not shooting for big numbers, man. I was not. I was just like, dude, I can go to Thailand, probably like live like a king for $1,000, experience different cultures. It was like exciting to me. So I had an Amazon store. I was doing the FBA thing, but I was buying physical inventory. I'd actually buy it up front and then it would get stored there. And I was making like $3,000 a month, but I was working like 60, 80 hours a week. Like I had no time. I had inventory coming to my house. So I was making way less than people, their normal jobs. And I was working way more. And then I got to this point where like, okay, things are like getting better. I'm outsourcing a little bit more, and I just wanted to scale it. So I was like reading the 4-hour work week, and I was like, okay, I gotta outsource. I gotta, hire people, put systems in place. And I took out just a giant loan. It was like 65,000 at like 35% interest rate. I mean, it was just super high interest, but the goal was I was gonna get the inventory. I was going to sell because things were selling, but I was going to do it much bigger. And guess what? Things didn't sell the way I wanted. And I got in like a $30,000 hole just like that. And I was using personal credit cards at the time to buy the business. So I took the loan and I was using personal credit cards to buy a business. And I was maxing those out and then I was paying them off like the next month. But I was maxing those out. And I was confident in myself and it didn't work out. And then I didn't know what I was doing at the time. I like panicked and I took out a loan to pay for the loan and it just spiraled out of control. So it wasn't from buying clothes. It wasn't from buying anything. I owned jack squat nothing. I was just trying to build a business so I could go out and experience this world and, do different things. And then all of a sudden I'm like $100,000 in debt and I had absolutely nothing to show for it. No assets, anything.
Oh shit. It's very similar to my story, bro. I didn't have any business. I didn't have any clients. I didn't have some dope, chains or watches. I didn't know hard assets I could sell. It was just like I messed up. So on that note, dude, what are some of the different business models that you tried in your quest to figure out. That's what every person watching this right now, I don't care if you're married with kids, if you're a high schooler, if you're a college kid, who doesn't want to freaking live the life that Patrick's living right now? And I guess that I'm living in a little bit different way with my family, but like this world's too big, dude. You got one life. Can you imagine like living your whole life and not going to Portugal, not going to Africa? Like it's wild, dude. So I can relate. I can relate a lot. But what are some of the business models that you tried along your way?
Oh man, I did pretty much everything you think of. I was that kid that, started network marketing. I had no clue what was out there.
What network marketing did you do, bro? I have to know.
Dude, I did there was like this energy drink one going around when I was in college. Yeah, Vimo, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Oh, yeah.
That's a different story too on how I got into that because yeah, we don't need to go into that, but like, yeah, I did the network marketing thing and then stopped that. I actually tried a couple different companies and my heart was never in it. I never wanted to sell that stuff. I just didn't know there was other options. And it was like different back then. There's so many options out there now. There's so many ways that you can, do these things, but I just didn't know about anything. I was like, I either got to get at the time I was like a professional soccer player, and then that dream got wiped away with injuries. And then it was like do this network marketing thing or go get a corporate job. That is like the only two options I see. I did not see any other options out there. That was it.
Funny.
So I tried that. What?
I said it's just funny because I remember being in a similar spot looking at it. Like when you first start, you're like, you either go get a job and then you hear of like your one friend. Mine was a friend that did FBA. And I was like, oh, I could either do FBA or I can do a job. And it's like now.
Yeah, I didn't see any other options.
Now, bro, there's what, 100 plus? You could rattle off 20 right now without even thinking about it. And if you went deep, you could go 100 plus. Like,
yeah, you can make anything work. Right. Sales, people just have a good sales job. They're making a few $100,000, which I think is good. And then you can take that sales skill and you could leverage it in something like this. Like there's nothing wrong with doing that. Like I would choose a different option now, but again, I didn't know what I know now. But yeah, so I did FBA. I tried to affiliate marketing. I was running Facebook ads, running these like weight loss offers. And then I tried doing Facebook ads for clients, like an agency style, social media marketing. I was just selling. I was, just selling stuff. Man, I'm sure I tried some other stuff right now, but that's all.
Amazing, dude. So here's why I wanted you to list those off is if you're watching this right now, I know some of you guys are like already committed and you just want to get more value out of this, which we're going to get to here in a second. But those of you that have not jumped into this, I see it. It's so funny to watch because I did it. Patrick did it. Everybody does it. You go and you either don't know about this and you try it all and then you find it. You're like, oh my gosh, this is it. Or you stumble into this. You're lucky enough to stumble across this first. It gets a little hard and you start doing other shit. And then you circle back around, which is what I did. And I'm like, dude, that was so good. I didn't even know how good I had it. I didn't even know how good the model was because I had to go try this other stuff out first. So you might.
Yeah, I think, so too, like, I was doing this model as well. And for some reason, I thought I had to like try to do Facebook ads and stuff before. Like I knew this model was out here, but I thought, hey, I need to do Facebook ads and all this other stuff. And then this is long-term, this is my long-term, thing. I'm gonna be working on these things on the side. And that stuff didn't work out. And eventually I was just like, dude, I gotta make this work because it was getting crunch time. And I just went into this. And then I think, like ever since I started, making money with this, I haven't even looked at anything else. I haven't even tried anything else. And I'm not going to until I get to that 100,000 mark. And then, at that point you have money coming in to play with, and now you can do other investments with that money. But I haven't looked at anything in 3 years.
Yeah, well, I can totally relate, dude. I was all over the board as well. So let's get into some like actual tactical stuff. Let's say that somebody's listening to this, they're 20 grand in debt, right? Or they're 10 or they're 50, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, let's talk mentally first. Like, how do you mentally get your ass out of bed every morning and keep, because like it's one thing when me and you get a deal, and it's like that money's going right in our pocket, and it's like, cool, now we're going to be able to buy another piece
Yeah.
of real estate, go on a trip.
Yeah.
It's so much different when you like, oh, it's just going towards this huge lump sum of debt. Cool, $500 towards
Mm-hmm.
this massive. Do you remember
Mm-hmm.
mentally how you were able to like even get motivated to do it? Because like at some point, it gets so big, it's like there's no way I'm ever going to pay this off.
Yeah. Um, well, I think too, I was like, I can't get a job, even if I get a job that makes me $100,000, that will be $100,000 a year, which kind of like sounded good at the time. I would be in debt for the rest of my life. So that wasn't even an option. I have to make a lot of money, otherwise I'm screwed. So I don't know. I didn't really have an option. There are days when I would like wake up and not feel motivated. And there was days where I would put, 14, 16 hours of work in. It just kind of fluctuated, but I mean, every single day I put one step forward. It's just there was a lot more effort
Yeah.
involved. And it's just like, it helps. And you get one deal, if it's not a lot of money. I did close, like my first deal was like $200. That gave me some momentum. I was like, this does work. I can repeat this, even with like really small clients. But then the next one was bigger. The next one was bigger. And then it got to a point where it was pretty, sorry, I got a phone call coming in.
Oh, you're good.
Comfortable. And then I got stuck at a certain mark, and then, it exploded again. But you just got to put one, foot, forward every single day. Some days it's going to be, a lot bigger step, than others.
No, I mean, I even, as I asked you that question, I'm trying to think back to my experience, and I almost had to kind of put it out of my mind and focus on like, and this is what I'm going to ask you next is I had to focus on how am I going to get my monthly nut covered? So that's what I'm going to ask you, because you had no money coming in. How did you get that monthly nut covered? So it's like, now I can start chipping away at this, but you got to get the monthly nut covered first. Some people listening to this right now are like in debt with nothing.
Yeah, I was doing some like sales stuff too, and I was actually doing like, those months like $7,000-8,000 a month. But that was like it was basically just paying like fees.
Damn.
Yeah, and fees and interest. Like I was making no dent whatsoever. So I was doing that while I got to like, I think like $5,000 a month, and then I stopped doing that. And then I was able to like show enough income, and where I was able to refinance some of these loans too. That helped take some of that interest down. I got like a loan to pay for the loan, but this was a better way this time.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I got in that situation that with that high interest loan is because my credit had a ding from a stupid college mistake that was ridiculous. So I was in a situation where I was able to refinance, that loan as well.
So what would you recommend? Let's like, we're talking tactical. So any tips on like people that have like debt and okay, I know for me, I tried to go in zero balance transfer into zero interest. Like I had like 3-4 cards. I was doing all this stuff, but any advice? Any advice? I remember doing that, dude. I felt like such a scumbag. I'm like, bro, I never thought I'd be this guy, dude. I'm like looking up like these cards and shit. Any good resources? Like I'm talking like I hope people that are on this call think we're gonna be like, yeah, just do digital real estate. It's gonna solve itself. No. I'm like, you need to get
I mean, if you have to pick up a job, if you're just sitting there, like pick that up, go drive Uber. You don't have to put that much work. And honestly, working on this like 12 hours a day, it's kind of hard to do. Like I know people say they do like 8-10 hours, and then I like look at the actual work they're doing, and it's like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Put in actual good work, make the phone calls. That doesn't take that much time. And then, go out and work and cover that stuff. And it's going to take stress off, and you're going to have better calls. You're not going to sound as desperate as well. Be a bartender. Go be a freaking bartender at night. And some of these bars, you can make $300, $400, $500, $600 at night.
Yeah. So here's what I did. And I think if I'm sitting there and I'm in debt and I'm like, I got to get my income up because here's the other
Yeah.
thing is sometimes the 9 to 5 is tough because it like takes up all your time.
Yeah.
So
And your
uh,
energy is down as
yeah.
well.
So if I'm sitting here going, if I'm in $60,000 in debt, knowing what I know today, and I'm at $0 income, first thing that I'm doing, well, now I would just pre-sell deals because I know how to do that. But if you don't know how to
Yeah.
do that, then what I would do is I'd honestly go grab 5 to 7 to 10 SEO clients, dude. That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
quickest, high margin, simple.
Hmm.
Everyone can use SEO.
Hmm.
It's, you got to learn how to do it. But other than that, that to me, that's what I did. I went from $0 coming in, and then my wife's like, you got to go get a job. I'm like, I ain't getting a job. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do SEO. And I had to get to $6,000+ a month instantly, or I wasn't eating.
Yeah.
That didn't mean I was chipping away at the debt. I was just, so this is, I think the advice is like, stabilize your debt, figure out how you can get it on the lowest interest possible. If you need to get a loan to
Yes.
pay for the loan, great. If you need to do zero balance transfer, I can hook you up because I got all the cards. Dude, that last
Yeah.
card, I got done. I was so happy the day I paid it in 2020. And I was gonna just tear it apart. And I was like, bro, I'm gonna keep this as a memento. Like, I'm never
Yeah.
going into that
Nah,
situation
I'm not
again.
going back. Yeah, there's a 0% chance I could ever go back. It's not possible.
Zero.
I can lose everything, and I know I can add value to people and make money with a completely different model. Like the mindset has completely changed.
You would never ever get in that situation in the first place. But if I put you back in the situation, you'd crawl out of it. You
Yeah,
sprint out of it.
easy.
Yep.
Yes.
So then I think you have to make a plan. Do you want to go get a job? You can. I think the quickest, easiest way, go get 5 to 10 SEO clients, do all the SEO work for those clients in a 2 to 3 day period. Now you have 2 days that you can work on something more sustainable, digital real estate. Or if you want
Yeah.
to go in and don't believe us, go try drop shipping, go do Vima, whatever the hell it's called. So funny you bring that up, dude. I have so many friends that like that was the
Oh
specific
man.
one too. They got
Yeah,
sucked into.
that was the like one that was just going across country like a
Bro,
kid,
they
you
figured
know.
out how to hit the colleges, dude.
Yeah, that's what happened.
It's crazy.
I
So
got hit up by like 10 people and said, no, dude, it's not for me. That's stupid. And then I just got like kind of desperate. You
yeah.
know?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Totally. Okay, so let's say you get your interest as low as you're gonna get, you get your monthly nut chipped away at and your monthly nut covered. Now, how
Yeah.
would you attack it? Knowing what you know now, would you go and say, hey, I'm gonna do I'm gonna pre-sell one deal at a time. I'm gonna try and sell, rank and rent to my SEO clients. Like what would be your exact next move once those two things were taken care of?
Can you say that again real quick?
Yeah. So like once you have, because let's say you're in $20,000 in debt, you get your
Yeah.
interest handled the best you can. You
Yeah.
get your monthly not covered. So you're not
Mhm.
going backwards, but you're not going forward. You're not chipping away.
Okay.
What's the move? Do you say, okay, I'm gonna go and get my first rank and rent deal and keep maintaining my SEO clients, or what do you think the next? And if so,
Okay. So we're
yeah,
assuming we have SEO client
we're
or
let's say
no
that we're
clients.
assuming because I'm giving the advice that you should get SEO clients, and if you have a
Oh,
job,
so the SEO is just kind of like there.
it's
Okay.
just the middle. It's like, let's call that's the job because it's not going to last forever. But if you have a job too, it's the same thing, right? At some point you have to replace the SEO or the job income with something sustainable.
Yeah. I think it's different for everyone depending on their mindset and their belief level. Like, can they sell a $1,500, $2,000 deal, $5,000 deal? I don't know. For me, I had to sell a freaking $200 deal first, a $200 lead gen deal. So like, let's say you're running $500 in ads and maybe you try and sell it. Maybe you're struggling at like 1,500. You just cannot get over it. Maybe you try to sell it for, 800 and get a testimonial. And now you have confidence. And now you're like, okay, I can sell the next one for 1,200. That 1,500, or give them like a deal in the beginning. So I think it's different for everyone. But like, yeah, the deal would be leads in advance, this exact strategy, and I'm hitting it hard. And the way we're going to start it is it's a niche selection. We're gonna go way hard in due diligence. And then we're going leads in advance and we're dialing the phones. Dialing the phones. But again, depending on your confidence level in selling deals, you know, get clients, get testimonial videos, get that stuff. Because then that next one you go to, you have confidence and you have proof, and it's going to come across, and then it's going to come across in your Zoom like, hey, look at this is what we're doing for this guy. We can do the same thing for you. Because that helped me. I was able to sell bigger deals once I had one confidence, but I also had proof as well. So it was easier for me to sell those deals too. Right.
Yeah, no, my first deal, towing deal, $600 a month, $700 a month. And I would never, you and I, we wouldn't touch that today.
No, I'm not. No, I mean, 1,500 minimum for me. Maybe it should even be higher. But yeah, I won't touch that.
So you were making enough money to pay your bills with a sales gig. Then you said you got to 5,000. Was it 5,000 doing SEO, 5,000 doing lead gen?
Lead gen.
And
Lead gen.
okay, so when did you get to like where you felt like, okay, I'm actually chipping away at this? Like, okay, now I'm making strides at paying back the debt. And like, this is exciting. I think like there's actually light at the end of the tunnel. Like, how long did that take?
Yeah, when I was at that 6,000, I like knew I was there, but I was like stuck there for a little bit as well. I was like, okay, I went from like 200, 2,000 like next month, and then 6,000. And then I was stuck there for like 3-4 months.
Okay.
And then after that, exploded to another level. And then got here pretty quickly after it.
Can I ask you a question? What was your timeline like from when you went from 5,000, let's say, to when like things really changed? Like, how many months did that take?
I mean, I think it was like from the first part of 5,000 you're asking.
Yeah.
Say like nine months.
That's awesome.
Because I was just kind of like stuck at that, that spot. And even though I was in debt, it was kind of like comfortable. It was like comfortable debt, because I wasn't like, I was like, hey, I'm able to like pay everything with this thing. It's just ridiculous looking at it now, but there's different levels of, we're comfortable in like these shitty situations, that we put ourselves in.
Dude, I can relate. Some people might be listening to this going, how can you have comfortable debt? Well, it's because you're like, okay, now my interest is paid and I know it's going to get paid. I may not be able to like pay it off all tomorrow, but like you're still living. You're still
surviving.
Yeah. And you're still taking a trip. You're like, okay, I
was not taking trips, man. I did not take any trips. I was doing nothing fun. I wasn't really going out or anything. No.
That's crazy, bro. So like
I was having no fun at all.
Yeah, for me, I definitely had to turn some of those down, but like there was some times there, like for the purpose, if none other than to just not like preserve my marriage, like we had to do a little bit of that, even though it should have gone towards that, because I'm like, dude, my wife's like, I've said no to the last 3, like this isn't good. Dude, I was actually hiding the debt from my wife, bro. Yeah. She didn't know until it was paid off.
I didn't tell anyone. I told absolutely no one.
It's embarrassing, bro.
I didn't tell anyone. I was just at, apartment by myself, hustling, not going out,
I picture that
friends anymore.
I picture like you were like the guy that was like drinking a bottle of Jack every night. Like, damn, dude.
No, I didn't even do that. I didn't do any of that stuff, man. I just like, I would be like working and like I was just building websites, trying to figure that stuff out. Just kind of like learning that stuff. But it was like also, and I was like got to a point I was like, okay, I know how to rank websites, but I just keep doing this without landing clients. Like that was a problem too. Like I was just doing stuff that wasn't bringing in money, actual money. I was doing all the stuff that can be outsourced to people for very cheap because it felt like I was making progress. And there was some progress on it, but it wasn't changing my situation.
When did you feel like it finally clicked when you're like, all right, I'm fine, like I'm making consistent strides? Like what changed?
Um, I mean, there's a bunch of different turning points, but the sales, like I used to do it like a different way, where I would be like, these guys have to make money before I ask for it, and sometimes I would make them like $20,000 in the first couple calls, and then after like 500. I think I got this one deal where I gave this guy his like first lead I gave him. Okay. And this happens when you like talk to enough people. I was talking to so many people. I was giving leads all over the place. And his first deal, he closed like a $35,000 deal. All right. And then
Yeah.
he's like, you have made me more money than my marketing company right now. They're paying me $3,500 a month. And it was just SEO. They were doing SEO and Google ads. And I was looking at their Google ads and it wasn't even showing up. Their SEO, they were literally doing absolutely nothing. There were like no backlinks or anything.
Classic
So I'm like,
SEO company.
so I was like, hey, I can take over your SEO and still do nothing because there really wasn't much to do. He was in like a really small market with his site, but he wanted leads in this other place. And that's where I was focusing on my leads. I was like, hey, I can take over your SEO and I can give you all these extra leads that I have for $3,500 a month. And at that time, I was doing like those same amount of leads I was giving to other people in different areas, like $750 a month. Some of them were at 500, some of them were at 1,000. So that changed things because that guy saw the value at $3,500 a month. And I was like, dude, I'm getting these like same leads over here and I'm charging 500. I'm like, dude, it's going up. We're now at 1,500, comfortable mark, 1,500. So I was able, after I closed that one, like the next day I closed a $2,000 deal. And then I raised people to 1,500. I'm like, hey, this guy's doing 1,500. So, but that just happened from talking to enough people and, doing that. But just know you can charge these numbers. But for me, I just had to like go through it by talking to enough people and listening to what they're saying. What were they paying to getting no result? Okay, well, I'm actually giving them results. I can charge that much.
Dude, you just like when you were talking, do you remember how good it felt to like I bet for that it was like that deal.
Yeah, best feeling in the world. And then it was 2,000. So I made 5,500 times 12 in a matter of 2 days. Like that was probably the biggest life-changing moment right there.
I love it, bro. I remember that felt better than probably hitting 35,000 last month.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever have a better feeling.
Yeah, no, it feels euphoric. And if you're listening right now, you've never made money online, that first $100, $1,000, $500, it is untouched. It's got to be like that.
Yeah, and yeah, guess what? They're both clients now, still to this day.
Amazing.
And that 2,000 wants me to take over a bunch of other stuff, and we're going to, and it's gonna be a $5,000 a month client.
One thing you're really good at, dude, just from working with you, is Patrick really places an emphasis on taking care of his clients. And so that's why, like, what year did you land that client that you're talking about?
The 3,500 one?
Yeah.
What month? That was because that was like the first month I got into your program.
Okay.
Because that was the first month because we talked about it and I was like, yeah, I took that like sales process and then it was like 3,500 and 2,000.
That's right, dude. This guy came out so hot. I remember we were on the call and we were talking about getting into the digital landlords. And then you were like, yeah, I think I'm going to land like X. You said some crazy number of deals. I'm like, dude, is this guy just pulling my leg? And then literally within 30 days, you were like right here. And then 30 days later, you were at like, you popped, dude. So like,
yeah, so it was a couple things. So like I was saying, like, all right, I got the number from this guy by just asking questions and being curious of what he was paying for these other marketing companies. Because a lot of these guys, if they're running ads, they might have a different marketing company or something that they don't like. So you just ask them like, what are they paying right now? And if you can offer a better solution, offer more value, you can just, transfer that budget over to you. But then I also like in that like free group that you have that I think this is going to be in.
Yeah.
I saw people closing deals and I'm like, dude, if they can freaking do it, then I
The
can.
classic. You're like, no.
I don't want to say anything, but I was like, dude, that guy's not smart, man. Like,
Yeah.
why? Like,
Yeah.
I can charge that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's so I think the message, like more than anything, is like those are some really practical steps of like number one, getting your debt as low as you can, your interest,
Yeah.
figuring out how to restructure it. Number two, getting into either getting your nut covered or getting your nut covered in a better productive way. And number
Mhm.
three is just start doing deals, start getting like, because here's the thing, man, is like what I did a little differently than you is I got the SEO to pay for the monthly nut. But the month that I got a little bit greedy and I kept chasing that fast money and I kept chasing it. I
Yeah.
kept chasing it. So I spent 2 extra years building up to 12,000 a month, dropping down to 9, building up to
Yeah.
13,
You're just
dropping down to 10.
constantly going back and
And I
forth.
couldn't
Yeah.
figure it out. I'm like, there's no way anyone could scale this. And it's like, it's because I was doing SEO. And so it took me like till 2020 to go, dude, you got into online because you wanted assets. And here you are trading your $100. So Patrick did it the right way where he literally just started, he covered his nut. And then he's like, I'm just going to build assets and start crawling my way out that way. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm an example. Patrick's an example. I bet there's way more examples that just aren't talking about it. But
Mhm.
I'm amazed at how many people, I think more people are in debt than people want to admit or want to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
Like,
I wouldn't tell anyone.
no,
Sure.
you would have never known, bro. You would have never known. I was smiling. I was whatever. But dude, I was like, it was heavy shit, bro. It was like, I
Yeah,
picture
my family still doesn't know. They have no clue.
you tell them once you like rolling up in the freaking the Lamborghini Urus, you know?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding,
I mean,
bro.
I don't get motivated by cars,
I know
man.
yours would be your equivalent of that would be like
That
a
that
picture
being
from
said, I did buy Broncos, so I don't know. I don't know.
dude. The Broncos are sick.
But I feel like it's a little bit more practical.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But nonetheless, I guess what I want to just like reiterate here is that it's like as I start talking to people, dude, I know a lot of 20-year-olds that are in $5,000 in debt, $10,000. When you're $10,000 in debt as a 20-year-old, you may as well be in $100,000 in debt because you don't know how to make any money.
You know what? Here's the other point too. Now that I'm thinking about it. So I'm like $100,000 in debt. I mean, maybe even a lot more than that. But I was like, okay, if I'm $100,000 in debt and I buy this like program or I'm like putting money into this, like, dude, $105,000 in debt, $100,000 in debt, doesn't matter. It's the same thing. So I was like, I'm just gonna keep investing myself and I would just give. I wasn't worried about. I was focused on providing so much value to these clients because I knew, like, once I like really landed that first one again, I was just providing value. I was like, okay, I just got to keep doing that, and eventually I will get out. And I guess at that point, I didn't really care how much debt I was in because, okay, if it's 100, 105,000, 110,000, 120,000 to 100,000, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I was like, I'm going to make a ridiculous amount of money. I'm not just trying to make, 10K a month anymore because I had to. So at that point of that, it like doesn't matter. You're like, okay, I'm going to make
I've heard you say that
a month, so that doesn't matter.
I've heard you say that and I can relate because at some point you're just like, it's just a number and you're like, it's a lot. I don't want to think about it. Like you even said the same thing. I remember dude, can you relate to this? Do you remember opening up your Chase bank account or whatever, or avoiding opening it up? And every time you open it up,
I'm going to open it up for like months.
Dude, I had to like prep myself.
Yeah, like mentally go take a walk.
Yeah, I remember.
God. I got I'm like scratches thinking about that.
Yeah, same. I still have to.
That sucked.
I remember opening it up and going, "What's the damage on the credit card? And am I gonna have like enough?" Because I was playing a game, dude. This is where I got into debt. Is like after the whole software thing, I started trying to do SEO. And then I'm like, well, I need to do some lead gen, but I didn't know the flat fee. I didn't know how to pre-sell. So I would like call people and be like, I can get you X amount of leads for this much money. And then I won't ask you for more money until I get you that many leads. Didn't know how to do due diligence, didn't know how to price it. So like and then we were doing pay per lead deals. So I would spend this much money getting the leads. And then let's say I had $15,000 invoice out. I had 2 people inside of a month that owed me on paper 15,000 and like 12,000, just basically tell me to just screw myself. Like, hey kid, thanks for the leads. We're not paying you, like straight up, dude.
Yeah.
Kyle was there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that $15,000, that's going to pay my credit card to get me back to zero. And you're just telling me no? Like, crazy shit, dude. But like looking back on it now, it's like the war stories. You're like, I got so much, it messed with my, this was something I said before you hopped on. It messed with my confidence more. I didn't even know what to do. I'd never had my confidence shaken in my entire life. It shook my confidence.
Yeah.
But looking at it, talking about it, going through it, coming on the other side, I don't know if anything's given me as much confidence as
more confidence. Yeah, exactly. Now it's like, now I like the position that I'm in. It's like, okay, if I have to start from nothing, I know I can make it back plus a lot more. Whereas like some people, they accumulate, a bunch of money, and if they lose it, they might be working at freaking Walmart.
Yeah.
Because they don't, maybe they were given it, or
yeah,
they had a lot of money to start, and then they were investing in stuff like real estate, but they really don't know it because they're letting somebody else do it. And that's like, all right, if they got taken away, they wouldn't know what to do. It's like, this gets taken away. It's like, okay, I'll just go sell some more deals. It's not a problem.
I think it was Alex Hermosi was talking. I heard this about a year, maybe a year.
Yeah, you can't take away the skills, man. That's it.
Yeah.
You got to develop skills.
You should be spending your money on assets and skills, because you put Elon at $0. That dude is going to be back. He's going to have a company worth $1 billion inside of 12 months, dude. Like,
easy.
It's a
he knows how to do it. Yeah.
It's simple. I mean, it's not easy, but it's simple, and it's just
for him. For him, he's done it so many times, and he's he's gone through it, that he can do it because he developed those skills. But there's other people that have gotten there through other ways, and they wouldn't be able to.
Yeah. Well, even me, dude. The whole purpose of this call isn't like, oh, you should buy the program. It has nothing to do with that. I'm doing the same thing. A couple months ago, I was like, hey, I want to learn this new skill set. It's in a little bit different industry. I'm still, sometimes it's a program. Sometimes I'm paying people to coach me one-on-one. Like, I'm investing because, like, what else you gonna like? Those things are gonna make you more money, infinite money. Whether it's the connection you get, the people you're around, like, it's invaluable.
Yeah, this is good too, because like SEO and Google Ads is any type of ads. This is a real skill set you're developing that you can then leverage. There's a lot of opportunities that are coming this way now because of this skill set as well, that are branching way off of lead. Okay, so these skills are stacking. There's a lot of big plays that we can do off of this, but there's like there's so many online opportunities out there where you're just like, oh, they're like, just push these few buttons and you're developing absolutely no skills. Okay. And it's just not, you can like learn from those experiences, but you're not going to be able to leverage that at all. Here, if you look at SEO and you look at that, you're developing real skills. Let's say you want to start a business of some sort. Well, guess what? You got the marketing piece. You understand that. Now you can stack those skills. So there's just a lot of good to come out of this.
That's the most messed up but most exciting part is, like, as soon as you like, when you're in debt, that's when you need the opportunity the most, right? You're like, I just need the break. I just need the opportunity. But it's the moment that you start, like, things start to roll, like you get to the 30, the 40, the 50, the 60. And now all of a sudden opportunities are coming your way. People are calling you going, hey, I'm starting this business. I know you're marketing. And it's like, now you have a chance at being part of this equity deal. Like, and it's like, I think it was in Rich Dad Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich. They talk about when money starts to flow, it flows in such abundance that like you can't even comprehend it. And I was telling my wife this the other day, like it's to me making money was so hard for me to make $10,000 a month. And
Yeah.
now I like it's so stupid, like
Yeah.
simple that you're like,
It is it's very simple.
ah,
I actually just thought, and I want to talk about this because I think it's a really good way to make money. This is actually how I would do it. I wouldn't do SEO if I needed money coming in. I would try to land SEO deals, but that's not how I would approach people. I would, look at their website. Maybe they don't have a website. Go to Google, and I would just build them websites for free because it doesn't cost anything. And nowadays, you can put those up by yourself. You can put them up in a day, right?
yeah.
And you just say, "Hey, do you want this? Do you want this? I built this website for you. Get all their information, put it all on there, and just give it to them. Keep doing that, and then be like, "Hey, how much is it? $2,000." $500, $1,000, anything. You just did it. What if you're making $500 a day? You just sold a deal every day. There's no reason you can't do that. That I think that is the easiest way to do it. And then you build a website like, hey, you want SEO as well? Look at it. We get this at the top. That's how I would try to land those SEO deals for some recurring. But I would go 100% on like website and Google optimization and like show them how to do that. That's how I would do it. Now that I'm thinking about it, because if someone asked me, that's 100% how I would do it.
You're doing essentially what we're doing when we pre-sell a deal. You're giving value in advance, but this time you're building a website instead of giving a lead, right? That's
if I like really needed that, money coming in. Again, I'm not out here. I'm not building people's websites. Like I don't want to do that now, but I'm just talking about that. Like, hey, if I have to get that money, like you asked that question before, that's what I would do.
It's true, bro. And I don't know if you've had this experience. I'm sure you have because you're all over the world. But like, every time I drive home, there's a gym we go to locally. It's like a 20-minute drive. I come back. There's this really congested part of town, and there's these guys that are freaking high as a kite every day, and they're begging for money, bro. And every day I'm like, "Why are you begging me for money?" And it pisses me off. And then you get the guy who's a little smarter, and he comes and he washes your window. And you don't talk to, and you don't want him to.
Yeah, I know.
But he does it, and you're like, shit. You're like, I have to give him something. Like I can't not.
Yes.
Like, imagine same concept. Like if you go build somebody a website with their logo, with dude, how are they? They're gonna film
and then shoot him a video too.
Yes,
like get on freaking camera. Hey, I built this website here. Here's all your stuff on here.
100%.
I love it. And then you know what? Maybe the first couple you give them to free, and then you get testimonial videos as well. Like you just do what you got to do, man. But it all has to go with value. But I think just going in, like looking at people's crappy websites, and then people will pay $500. That is not that much money. Yeah. You could land one of those every day. You could make $15,000 a month landing $500 a day deals.
Yeah. And somebody's going to go, well, I don't know how to do SEO. Doesn't matter. Go and freaking get the SEO deal and go find somebody that does and say, let's do a split. Like you got to be a problem solver. And as soon as you start, I love that you use the term skill stacking. I love you like this game is so much fun once you figure it out. But I think in short and to wrap this up, it's like, if you're in debt, you're not alone. There's steps to take. We've all been there. Me and Patrick have. This is the greatest. This is the most predictable way to get out of debt is using digital real estate. You do need to get your nut covered. You do need to consolidate your debt and whatever, but this is the greatest way to get out of debt because you're going to get the client, you're going to retain the client, and you're going to grow. The client's going to grow with you. And that doesn't happen in most businesses. Most businesses, it's like $1,000 until I decide it's not, and then it's out. It's over. Right?
Yeah, I have one client that $500 a month, and now it's $3,200 a month.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.